Most people think ChatGPT gets better just because you write a better prompt. That helps, but it is only part of the story. Skills take it a step further. They let you teach ChatGPT how to do a repeatable task the same way every time without starting from scratch. That means less explaining, less rework, and a much more consistent result. And once you understand how skills work, you start seeing them as a real workflow tool, not just another feature. A ChatGPT skill is basically a small add on for a specific job. Instead of telling ChatGPT the same thing over and over, you package the process into one place. That process can include instructions, examples, templates, reference files, scripts, or any other support material ChatGPT needs to do the work well. So if you want it to analyze a spreadsheet a certain way, build lesson plans in a district format, review a policy with a checklist, or write in a specific tone, a skill can hold those expectations for you. The point is consistency. The skill becomes the memory of the process, so you do not have to rebuild it every time. And that is why skills matter. Without one, you keep repeating the same setup. Use this format, write in this voice, follow these steps, avoid these mistakes, pay attention to this template, define what good looks like. A skill builds those expectations in ahead of time, which makes the interaction cleaner and faster. It also reduces the chance that ChatGPT drifts off course because the workflow is already defined. For people doing real work, that matters. It saves time, but more importantly, it saves mental energy. A skill can include a lot more than just a block of text. The main file is usually called skill.md, and that file tells ChatGPT when to use the skill and how to behave once it is active. But a skill can also include templates, examples, reference documents, style guides, checklists, code, or assets used in the final output. That means a skill can be lightweight or very detailed depending on the task. For something simple, it might just provide a process. For something more complex, it can serve like a full operating guide for a specific kind of work. In practice, you use skills naturally in conversation. You do not need to announce them or manage them manually every time. If your request matches a skill, ChatGPT can apply it. So if you ask for a lesson plan for a seventh grade asynchronous AI literacy lesson, and there is a lesson planning skill available, ChatGPT can use that structure automatically. That is the real value here. The skill shapes the output behind the scenes, so the result feels more intentional and less random. Skills are also different from custom GPTs, and this is where people often get them mixed up. Custom GPTs are more like specialized assistants. They can have a role, a personality, a knowledge base, and capabilities that make them good for a broad job. Skills are more like reusable task instructions. They help ChatGPT perform a specific workflow consistently. So a custom GPT is often the bigger assistant, while a skill is the repeatable process inside the work. One is about the overall assistant, the other is about the procedure. That's the key idea. If you find yourself repeating the same directions every time you use ChatGPT, that is usually a sign you need a skill. It turns a one off conversation into a reliable system. And once you start building or using skills well, ChatGPT becomes less of a generic chatbot and more of a practical tool for real work. Comment skills, and I'll make a follow up on how to create one.